What happens when a fearless British challenger steps into the circle against a living Muay Thai legend with over 300 fights to his name? What unfolds when youth, ambition, and national pride collide with experience, precision, and the iron will of a world champion? Inside the electric atmosphere of the Singapore Indoor Stadium, under the bright lights and roaring anticipation of fight fans from around the globe, one of Muay Thai's most explosive warriors reminded the world exactly why he is feared, respected, and celebrated. This was not just another bout. This was a statement. This was dominance wrapped in discipline. This was the night Rodtang Jitmuangnon showcased evolution, brutality, and honor all in one breathtaking performance against Great Britain's rising warrior Jacob Smith. The rivalry between Great Britain and Thailand in combat sports has produced thrilling encounters over the years. Different cultures, different styles, different foundations, but one shared language, heart. On this night, the British colours stitched proudly on Jacob Smith's trunk symbolized more than representation. They symbolized belief. Belief that he had what it takes to challenge the undisputed one flyweight Muay Thai world champion. Across the ring stood a man known as the Iron Man, carrying not just a championship belt but the weight of 267 victories, 42 losses, and the hardened experience of more than 300 professional battles. At only 24 years old, Rodtang possessed the kind of resume most fighters could only dream of across an entire lifetime. The physical differences were subtle but meaningful. Smith stood at 5 feet 7 inches an inch taller. Rodtang measured 5 feet 6 inches. The weight difference? Just a single pound, 134 for Smith, 135 for the champion. 5 years separated them in age, but the true gap wasn't measured in years. It was measured in experience, timing, composure, and the invisible calm that only hundreds of wars can forge. The introductions echoed throughout the arena. Smith, representing Great Britain, training out of Bad Company and Thai Fist, carried a respectable record of 14 wins and 5 losses. Across from him, the champion from Thailand, representing Jitmuangnon Jim, stood undefeated in reputation if not in record, a man who had faced the very best since his teenage years. The referee issued final instructions. Watch the headbutts. No strikes to the back of the spine. 5 rounds. Fair fight. Clean fight. Touch gloves if you wish. And then the circle belonged to them. Smith wasted no time. The British challenger opened aggressively, stepping in with a sharp uppercut that snapped upward early. It was a bold message. He wasn't here to survive. He was here to fight. He followed with a kick to the outside leg, trying to establish rhythm. For a brief moment, the challenger showed flashes of confidence. But champions don't just react. They respond. Rodtang answered with a crisp 2-punch combination, a hook that curved beautifully around the guard followed by a straight shot down the pipe. It was clean, efficient, measured. The kind of combination thrown not with emotion but with calculation. The champion's low kicks followed, delivered with that signature dip of the head, a detail small to the untrained eye, but one that reveals timing, mechanics, and danger. That dipping motion can open a counter opportunity, and against a dangerous opponent, it's a risk. But Rodtang wasn't reckless. He was composed. Smith fired back with leg kicks of his own. That Bad Company toughness was evident. He wasn't intimidated. He was engaging. He tried to close distance, feinting, searching for openings. But Rodtang's guard was tight, his counters sharper. The elbows began to show themselves, first subtly, then violently. 2 minutes into the opening round, the rhythm shifted permanently. Rodtang stepped in with a slicing elbow over the top. Then another. Then a step-through elbow off the lead hand. The British challenger began to taste the true difference between experience and ambition. Every time Smith tried to cover, Rodtang found the gaps. When Smith shelled up, the elbows came over the guard. When he pressed forward, uppercuts split the center. When he kicked, Rodtang caught and countered. The champion wasn't waiting anymore. In earlier years, Rodtang had a reputation for starting slow, letting the first round drift before escalating. Not tonight. Tonight he was aggressive from the opening bell. Fired up. Focused. Determined to make a statement in the semi-final advancement bout. The elbows were relentless. Horizontal elbows. Step-up elbows. Upward slicing elbows. Over-the-top downward elbows. Muay Thai is known as the art of 8 limbs: fists, elbows, knees, and shins. And on this night, Rodtang was using every weapon in the arsenal. His upper body striking was on another level. He wasn't just throwing elbows randomly. He was manipulating Smith's guard, parrying arms down, creating openings up the middle, and then threading the elbow through like a blade through fabric. By the end of round 1, Smith's face showed the cost of standing in front of a champion who had decided to push the pace early. The British warrior was tough, undeniably tough, but toughness alone cannot solve technical puzzles delivered at full force. Round 2 began with urgency from Smith's corner. They urged him forward. Close the distance. Throw elbows down the middle. Commit. But moving forward against Rodtang is like stepping into a storm that punches back. Every advance from Smith was met with a counter. A right hand speared through the guard. An elbow chopped downward. An uppercut snapped the head back. Rodtang's timing was surgical. He would catch the leg kick on his forearm, draw the counter, and immediately answer. He'd slip just outside range, then step back in with a left hook. He even initiated clinch exchanges, something we don't often see from him. Inside the clinch, he controlled posture, landed short elbows, and even executed a beautiful dump, sending Smith to the canvas in a display of balance and dominance. Technically brilliant, physically punishing, mentally draining. By the unofficial scorecards, it was 20-18 after 2 rounds. And while Smith continued marching forward, his face bore the evidence of Rodtang's precision. Yet credit must be given. The British challenger never stopped pressing. He never backed down. He continued to come forward, believing in his power and his chin. The 3rd round carried a different energy. Smith's corner urged urgency. 2 minutes left. Go for it. Try to finish. But finishing Rodtang is a task few in the world have managed. The champion answered every attempt with calculated violence. A round kick from Smith was caught and countered with, once again, an elbow over the top. If you were a student of Muay Thai watching that night, you were witnessing a masterclass in elbow application. Rodtang combined evasion with brutality. Subtle head movement. Quick slips. Parry down the arm. Elbow through the center. Body kick counters that thudded against the ribs. The beauty of his performance wasn't just in the damage. It was in the balance of technique and aggression. He wasn't wild. He wasn't reckless. He was composed destruction. As the final seconds ticked away, something remarkable happened. After 3 rounds of punishing exchanges, Rodtang dropped to his knees in front of Smith in a gesture of respect. It was a moment that transcended violence. A reminder that Muay Thai, though brutal, is rooted in honor, humility, and tradition. When the judges' scorecards were read, the result was no surprise. A unanimous decision victory. Advancing to the semi-final. The champion had defended not just his title, but his reputation. But what made this performance special wasn't just the dominance. It was the evolution. Rodtang showed a new layer, aggressive from the start, technically refined, strategically sharp, and respectful in victory. Smith showed heart, resilience, and the warrior spirit that defines British Muay Thai. In the end, the ancient martial art proved once again that while it has become a global modern sport, its values remain intact. Respect, courage, integrity. This wasn't just Thailand versus Great Britain. This wasn't just champion versus challenger. This was experience versus ambition. And on this night, experience carved its signature with elbows of iron. If you felt the intensity of this battle, if you respect the warriors who step into the circle, if you love the art, the violence, and the honor of Muay Thai, make sure you like this breakdown, share it with every fight fan you know, subscribe for more epic fight stories, and drop a comment below telling us, who can stop the Iron Man next? The circle never sleeps. The warriors never rest. And the legend of Rodtang continues.